Mike Fibra, they call me Taiwan Kobe, from Pomona, California originally. Been playing professionally for the past 16, 17 years, and now I'm here with my friend Ted in Taiwan. Yeah, 我是爱富伯. Yeah, had to do that last year on the television show.
How did you end up coming to this place out of all the places you could play in the world?
So I picked up basketball when I was around 14 years old. And I was horrible, man. My junior year, I got a new coach. He pushed me hard. Went to UC Irvine for 2 years, then went to enter the draft. Didn't get picked, but went to the NBA D League after that.
When you were there, you played against Kobe, right?
I played against Kobe in the Drew League. The year that the NBA had the lockout, we had a lot of NBA guys coming in. I was teammates with DeMar DeRozan, James Harden, Kevin Durant. At the end of that season, we had an all-star game. They split the teams up, and then all of a sudden we see Kobe walk in, and it was like, man, that's my idol. I couldn't really believe it. Funny story is I saw him 2 weeks before that at a Mexican restaurant that he likes to go to, and I approached him and tried to talk to him, and he just big dogged me and just made me feel like nothing. So now to see him 2 weeks later, the first thought in my mind was, I hope he's on the other team because I want to go at him.
What was it like to play against him?
It was crazy, man. I didn't know how to guard him. It was like he's just coming up the court, and it's kind of like I'm looking at Jesus, you know? It's just like that's my idol. It was a dope game. He destroyed us. I didn't have too many opportunities to guard him because James Harden wanted to go one-on-one with him.
Did you score any points that game?
I scored 1 basket on him. I had scored about 30 that game.
30?
Yeah.
Was your ambition at that point to go overseas or try to get into the NBA?
I had the ambition to try to get into the NBA up until I was about maybe like 25, 26 years old. The pay in the D League was just horrible. Top contract back then was like 6,000, 7,000, 4 or 5 months of work. So I had a coach, and I was sitting at a casino one night playing poker. He contacted me and said, hey, would you like to go to New Zealand? I was like, how much are they paying? I think it was like $4 grand a month. So I was like, yeah, that's way more than I was getting here. So yeah, sign me up. I went and never looked back. New Zealand first, and then Nigerian national team, because my father's from Nigeria. Took me to Libya with them and ended up going to France from there, then Switzerland, won championships there, then Russia, Czech Republic, China, Korea, Lebanon, then
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You would love to stay in one country for a long time, but I have seen guys sign week to week, game to game contracts in Taiwan last season.
Have you ever been in a country where like, this is somewhere where I could settle down?
I'm in it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Or here?
No, I'm here in Taiwan, I mean, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the things that have set Taiwan apart in terms of like livability? Or
they're just like up to speed here. I feel like it's more westernized here than most countries that I've played in. Very clean here. People are very nice. They love basketball. Speak a lot more English here than in mainland China. Family loves it here. That's another big thing. My daughter, she doesn't want to leave. I asked her a couple days ago, you want to live in Italy or stay in Taiwan? She answered Taiwan like immediately. She signs autographs too. Like they go up to her for the pictures and stuff. They love her. Once they see her, then they say, oh yeah, there goes Mike. They had her do the intros for the imports the second to last home game that we had. So she was like, number 24, my daddy sent you Kobe, Aifu Bo. She came out like on top of my shoulders. And
how did you get the nickname
of Taiwan Kobe? The fans here just gave it to me, man.
They didn't know you looked up to him or like they didn't know
that.
No,
few of them knew I played in China, but then once I started playing here and they just saw the way that I played, they were just like, man, he plays like Kobe, he plays like Kobe. So then they just started calling me the Leopards Kobe, then Taiwan Kobe, and then now here since you Kobe. So
that was them.
That was them, man. I've never called myself Kobe at all. No, I've called myself Chef Mike. That was my name coming in. That came from Lebanon. Because my wife wasn't with me at the time, and I was always cooking. Tried to bring it here, but then they changed my name and started calling me Kobe. So I said, all right, I'll run with that.
In Taiwan, like, what do you do when you're not playing basketball?
Take trips to Taipei. We like to get foot massages. Take my daughter to the park. Me and my wife are foodies, so we like to try different restaurants. Big fans of hot pot. My wife likes, her and my daughter, I don't know why, but they like stinky tofu. Fried, they say it's supposed to taste better. I tried both, and the smell, I can taste the smell. So it's just like, it doesn't work for me. Street food, like going to the night market and trying a lot of the sweets, mochi desserts they got. My wife does cook a lot. I love her Italian cooking, so luckily we have the grocery stores here where we can get all the ingredients. Costco too. I haven't played in a country that has Costco. And they got a lot of American restaurants out here too. The Texas Roadhouse, Hooters, Fridays right downstairs, McDonald's, Burger King, all that. Yeah, we live our normal life here like we do back home in Italy.
Because you played in China and here, when you moved here, was there like talk about your safety being in Taiwan?
Yeah, my wife's mother is the person who watches all the news and just knows everything going on in every country, and she was the first one to say like, yeah, you better be careful because China's going to bomb them. There's going to be war. It's not safe to go to Taiwan. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, I prefer to go to Taiwan over Lebanon right now. Everybody I asked though, like I've asked a ton of people, and I'm like, do you ever think something like that will happen? And most of their answer is, no, Chinese won't kill Chinese.
Local people.
Yeah, local people here saying that. Yeah. I said, well, I hope that's true.
What year were you in China?
2012. Urumqi, Xinjiang, China. It's like,
oh, you were in Urumqi.
So yeah,
in Xinjiang.
In Xinjiang.
What?
The most out of control patrol, tanks driving by. We couldn't leave the practice facility because they were worried about our safety. The owner was crazy rich. He had the practice facility, his mansion, there was 30-something rooms that he lived in. Then he had a smaller mansion, there was maybe like 18 rooms that he had the imports live in. So it was just me and one other guy. And you know the weather out there was horrible. I would just walk across to the gym every day, worked my butt off for over a month, signed a non-guaranteed contract with him. The night I signed it, I ran around his little mansion like crazy. I was so happy because it was like the most money I had ever signed for in my entire career. Man, it was wild. I remember going out one time, being out with my wife at dinner, and then after dinner was over, we were at the cashier paying, and I just went behind her and gave her, I was hugging her. And one of the guys who works there just came and just separated us like really aggressively, like you cannot do that here. All right, bro, I don't want any problems. Yeah, back then the Chinese were at war with the Uyghur. Literally had tanks driving by, and they would let us know in practice, do not go out tonight, don't go out all next week. I had to sneak out with the fitness trainer, get past the guard dogs and order a taxi and take a chance just to go have some good food. Yeah, and it was freezing cold in that gym. Like, see guys with big peak coat jackets and hoodies on and all that. I'm like, geez, and we got to play basketball here in this freezing cold.
But then you got to go to Chengdu. A cool city.
My second year, actually, my teammate was Ron Artest. Playing in China, every team definitely had that one guy, local player, that they would just stick on the import and just to irritate the hell out of you all night. Just hit you, scratch you, do whatever to try to get in your head, man.
Even to Ron Artest?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, that's one guy you guys aren't going to do it to, and they did it. That's the one thing that I feel that Taiwan does better than the Chinese league is they care about the players here, especially the local talent. They push them out to be in commercials and television shows, but I never saw that happening in China.
Is this the first time you've had a level of like celebrity?
Besides China and Lebanon. But this is a totally different level out here. I've been in GQ magazine, I've been on Taiwanese local television shows. You get a lot of stares, everywhere. I have a lot of fans who recognize me a lot of places, so I sign a lot of autographs and take a lot of pictures. They're very kind, you can have conversations with the majority of them, and a lot of them speak English, which is surprising, like I said, and compared to China. And of course, like once Dwight came, all the attention that was on us, it was like, man, no matter where I went, it was just Aifubo. And now with the Lioneers, they have a really big fan base. We get a good, on average, I'm thinking like 6,000 to 7,000. As a fan base when we go on the road too. Thanks guys, keep supporting.
That's cool that it's like more located to the city.
My team that I was with last year, they combined, so they call them the Taiyuan Beer Leopards now or something.
Beer Leopards. Yeah. It's like some fat leopard drinking beer.
P-League feels more like an NBA atmosphere compared to T1, especially with Jeremy Lin joining as well. So, but that's like cheating, man. That's like having 4 imports on your team. I think he's number 2 in the league in scoring, and he's considered local. And their team, they have another guy who used to play for the national team, Quincy Davis. He's a local on their team as well. The guard Manigal and the big guy Mullins, when he comes back, all on the court at the same time.
So are you gonna renounce your citizenship and become Taiwanese?
I'm sure they would like that, but I've already played for the Nigerian national team, so I can't.
Were some of the local players like intimidated by you or Dwight?
I think they had that effect more with Dwight than me. I would always hang out with him, joke around with him, and you need that family feel. I hate when the coaches say these are locals and these are imports. I'm like, no, we need to all just be one, you know. Playing in Asia for so long, I've picked up little words here and there, so I can crack jokes with them, say a couple bad words in Chinese to them.
Oh, so you can speak some Chinese?
Enough to show them that I'm trying to be a part of you guys' culture and I respect it. And it goes a long way. I try to show them that I do care and like I'm here to win. I'm not here to just make money off the court. It's like, no, I'm here for you guys and for us to be a successful team.
Is there like a style of play in Taiwan?
Here is one of the faster paces that I've played in overseas besides Korea. Those guys just never stop. I went to Libya with the Nigerian national team, like I told you, right? African basketball is a different level of athleticism and strength, and these dudes are just gigantic. Mentally, not that good at basketball, but man, physically, they're some monsters. So I don't know why, but I decided to go inside and try to get a rebound against all these 7-footers, and my own teammate just gave me an elbow to the left side of my eye, split it open. So I go to the bench, they just patch it up. Go back in the game, this is like in the 4th quarter, there's a loose ball. I'm chasing after a loose ball. Libyan guy from the other team is on my right side. I reach down to get the ball. He just blindsides me, bow, and elbow on the other eye, splits this eye open. So now I got 2 patches on. After the game, get in an ambulance and they take me straight to the hospital to get stitches. We get to the hospital, this is probably the dirtiest place I've ever seen in my life. People are just sitting on the floors, coughing, just looking sick. So they took me to a table which just had like curtains ribbons around it. And then the doctor comes in and he's like, okay, you're gonna need 3 stitches here, 3 stitches here. And I was like, all right, so are you gonna put any anesthesia? Like, are you gonna numb here? No, 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 you're from Nigeria, right? You're a strong boy,
yeah,
strong
good,
boy.
yeah.
I said, oh my goodness. Stitched it up, both sides.
Man.
Worst pain I ever had. We finish, I walk outside with the team doctor, we're waiting for the van to come pick us up. Police car pulls up. Parks right in front of us. One of the police guys has his arm hanging out the window, all 4 fingers chopped off. I just see his hand like this with the thumb hanging. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? They all hop out the car. 3 of the police officers, it was 1 driving, 2 in the back, and the guy with his hand was in the front seat. They pick him up, carry him inside the hospital. I looked at the team doctor, I said, yo, get me out of here. Let's get back to the hotel, man.
Out. So yeah, it must be a relief being in a place like Taiwan then.
Oh my God, in Lebanon. I was there when the economy just went to nothing. Guys were going to banks with guns to try to get their money out. I have money still stuck in the bank out there. They canceled the league. Me and my family had to sneak out of the country one night because flights were getting limited. People were protesting and blocking the highways with tires and setting them on fire. So we had to go through back roads and mountains, and it's me and my daughter was, I think, 2 years old at the time. Luckily, we got out of there. If I didn't come back to Taiwan last season, we were probably going to end up back in Saudi Arabia. It's not really a life there. Mostly what we do is just go to the mall, shop, and because it's so hot out there, most of the schools don't start until late in the afternoon. So you find all the kids in the malls playing in the play areas at like 2 a.m. because that's when it's the coolest outside. The other thing that's funny is my wife, she's from Italy, and she's really big on experiencing cultures and respecting the cultures. So she decided to dress like the women there dressed and wore the whole black robe and covered her head and everything. We would go to grocery stores sometimes, and my daughter would get lost and can't find mom because all the women look the same.
So after your career's over in basketball, you want to come here and...
I would think about going into coaching. I like the age group, like 13 and up. For the camp last summer, we had kids ages 6 to 12. You know, I had my plan of like, when I get there, we're doing this, and this. First thing was just to let them play 5-on-5 so I can just watch and, you know, evaluate. And I was like, oh man, I gotta totally change my whole plan. Some of the kids can't even dribble. Some of them have never played basketball before. So the second week we had age groups 13 to 18. And I was like, okay, now I can actually teach what I want to teach.
You know, in the States, everybody wants to be an athlete. But here, do you find that there's that same kind of culture around seeing basketball as a career?
They have it, but it's with the parents who have their second life in the States. That's what I've noticed. You can just tell the difference in their level compared to the kids that I've seen here playing like on the college games on television. Their bodies are different. I don't know if they're eating different food out there. They're taller, they're stronger. I'm just like, Jesus. These kids here could take it more seriously, but I mean, they got cram school and all that extra stuff here. It's like kids that will come into practice in the morning before us, like heads down, like I do not want to be here, you know. They're killing these kids out here academically, like big time. And there's so many of them. There's only so many spots open in this league.
So in some ways, the P League's more competitive than the NBA for a local.
Yeah, if you can't make the P League, you should. There's no other options.
Have you seen any locals that could be at like an NBA level?
Yeah, they have some talented guys that can make it there. My thing is the work ethic. Like today, I know most of them are around. They could be in the gym, especially the guys who don't get that much playing time. They don't have a lot of height here, but basketball is a guard's game, so they just gotta put the work in and they can get there. If Jeremy Lin can make it to the NBA, I'm sure a lot of guys here can do it as well.
Do you have any prediction on how many more seasons you'll play?
Plan is to be coming back to Taiwan next season. Maybe that'll be my last season at 40. As long as the phone keeps ringing and they want me to play, then yeah, I mean, Taiwan is the place to be right now for me.